Okay, we're now finally going to look at the Where-object command and how to use it. Recall up here that the Where-object command is an iterative filter, and we have to build that iterative filter that's going to go down the records one by one inside of that object. So let's start with the command, a get service command. And it's going to produce all of the different get service objects here, every one of them, by name and so on, and it produces, we can't see them all, but all of the properties. So the status, the name, the display name, and remember there are several other properties as well, but they don't show on the screen. Okay, so far so good. We've gotten the get service. Now we want to filter this using the Where-object command. We're going to filter out various records from this. And by records, I kind of mean rows here. And each row is itself an object. So we're going to use the Where-object command to say we're going to filter. And then we're going to use the filter parameter. And there are other parameters in Where-object, but right now we're mainly interested, at least in this course, in the filter parameter. Now for the script block. What's inside the script block? Well, first of all, the script block, it uses these curly braces in order to define that script block. So that's what these curly braces do. They start and end the script block. Inside the braces, we're going to start with a $_. Now, what in the world is that about? That is the current object. It refers to the current object. When this thing first runs, it refers to this object, stop, AAR, SVC, and so on. This object right here. The second time it runs, it refers to the second object right here. And the third time it runs, it refers to the third object. So this is a loop, and this just refers to whatever the current object is. Then we have a dot and the word status. Now the word status here, in this case, is the property that I'm interested in sorting it by. So that's why I made it kind of this brown color and put these dotted underlines under it, because you would substitute something else. You could use the display name, the status, any property you want within here. Now what's this dot thing? Why is it a dot? What this is saying is that it's calling out something within this entire object. So this is kind of like saying, well, within my computer is a hard drive, and the hard drive has some properties, and one of those properties is the size. So I might say computer dot hard drive dot size. So I'm talking about something within something else. In this case, I'm looking at a particular record, that's the $_, and then dot the status of that particular record is the part of it that I'm interested in looking at. Now I'm going to do my comparison. The -EQ, that means if the status equals, and then the thing that I want it to equal, running. So in this case, I want it to only show me the running ones. Well, running is a string, and because it's a string, it's a set of characters that I want to match exactly, I've got to put it inside quotes. In this case, I've put it inside single quotes. We're going to talk about single and double quotes in a moment, so just hang on to your seat on that one. Okay, so we have the dot separator saying, well, what property do we want within this object? And then the status, and that's where we actually name that property. EQ, in this case, equals, it means equals, and then running, the value of that parameter or that property that I want to compare it to. All right, so it's just going to go through each of these one line at a time and say the current one, the current object, the status of that object equals running, and it either does or it doesn't. So if it doesn't equal it, then it's just going to throw it away. If it does equal it, it's going to let it pass through. Alright, so that's how this thing works. Let's try this and see if it works. So let's see, let's just go back down to the bottom of this thing. There we go. Get service, and I'm going to pipe that to Where-object and I'm going to set the filter, and now my script block. Okay, there's my open and closing quotes. Now I'm going to always start with a $_ dot, and then whatever property I'm interested in. I'm interested in comparing the status property in this case, and if the status property equals running, alright, let's try this. Look at that. I get only the records here in which the status equals running, and it worked perfectly. Very nice. Now I'm going to make a separate video about these notes here, because there's quite a bit of information I need to convey about these notes. So we'll do that in a separate video.